Bore Prenanda, Chrysler, welcome to another Flames of War Battle Report. Exciting today, lots of new things on the channel. So we have a new mission and we have 4 new formations. So from the Italians, we have an M14 41 company. I believe we haven't had them on the channel before, and we have a command card making them basically apart from the Ariete Division. We also have a motorbike company as well, which is the infantry, just to add a little bit of speed to the guys today because they will need it. And then the mid-war Americans are fighting first, are rocking an M3 Stuart company. They're upgraded to Courageous and Faithful, making them the 13th Armoured Regiment, and they're supported by a company of armoured rifles in their half-tracks. And that is it. And then the other new thing is the mission, and the mission is Vanguard, which I'll show you next. So here's the new mission today, Vanguard. It was released with the updated mission pack. It's the last mission. Very different to the way the other missions play out in Flames of War, as you will probably be able to read from the winning conditions and the way the game is set. It was very interesting. Panzerschule did this on their channel as part of their Stug Life series, and it was quite entertaining. And I found out what they mentioned about turn 6 of being the attacker, but you'll find out with our revelation in this game, because I've already played it. It is very enjoyable, but the difference between Panzerschules is our lists have been tailored to the mission, so bang on exactly 15 points for our scouting force, and that's why the lists are, well, especially the Italian list is definitely different to what you would normally see. I did have a bog standard Africa Corps list with a scout car company, but I thought it'd be more entertaining to see some motorcycle troops. So let's get into a little bit more. Okay, so here is the fighting first list for today's game. 2 formations. The first one is an M3 Stuart company, and they are upgraded to Courageous and Faithful, so that will make them the 13th Armoured Regiment, so they will be hit on 3s rather than 2s. And they're confident and trained, so not too bad. So the makeup of the formation is 2 Stuarts for the HQ, a unit of 5 and a unit of 4, and then we also have 3 M3 Lees, one of which has been upgraded with a long 75, giving it AT10 rather than 9. Second formation is an armoured rifle company, so Jimmy's gone for a HQ with 2 jeeps rather than the half track. We then have a full platoon of 5 half tracks with 6 rifle teams, 2 LMGs, a mortar and 5 bazookas. He then has a shorter platoon, so 4 half tracks with 4 rifle teams, 4 bazookas, 2 LMGs and a mortar, and both of these half tracks only have the 150 cal rather than the 2 for late war. We then have in support 2 M10 tank hunters and 3 priests. So quite a lot of troops here, as you'd expect from mid-war Americans, all being hit on 3s, infantry with skill 5 being green. So let's go now and look at the Italians. Okay, and here are my Italians. We have a M14 41 tank company. So it has a command card attached, Luigi Pascuzzi. So basically he helps, they roll 2 8 million bayonets dice for each unit, and they have stuff to do with going a bit faster when the formation commander is near them for follow me's, which is nice. So we have 1 tank for the HQ, then we have 2 platoons of 5 M14 41s, and then a unit of 4 Semaventes. We then have another formation, a motorcycle company. So it has a HQ, 2 5-man rifle platoons. They have to be 5-man because of the motorcycle company rules. 3 Breda HMGs and 4 AB41 scout cars, and that is in formation. And the HQ, the MGs and the 2 platoons are equipped with motorcyclisti command cards, so 2 points each. basically makes them move faster, and what you get is you discard the card and then they revert back to normal rifle teams. So I thought quite cool for this mission, so I need speed is the key. So in support I have a unit of CR42 Falcos, the most brittle models I have. I think at least one point they will fall over and break into a million pieces, and I have an allied support unit in the form of 3 up-armoured Panzer IIIs to make sure these Italians are doing the job right, and I'm going to have a lot of work to do when they come on. So that is it. 2 new formations. So, and we got a new formation for the Americans as well. I don't think we've actually used armoured rifles for mid-war for the Americans, so 2 formations for them and a new mission. So all new goodies for today's battle report. So here is today's battlefield, randomly set up using like you roll for each section. You split the game up into 6 squares and you roll for each square. So there is a chance of a sandstorm coming in. We have to roll for that, so it's added surprise, which I think is quite fitting for the desert. And if I remember, I'll attach the thing I used to generate the terrain at the back of this video, so you can all try it out maybe for your other games, because after a while it's hard to have different ones. So top left corner, I know it's a bit patchy, I tried to mix it in as much as possible. So over in this corner here we have some soft sand, so that's difficult terrain and you can't dig in either on that terrain as well. We have some looks like an American tank patrol that's been caught up earlier, so we're going to have the area around them as a bulletproof cover, and there'll be some concealment as well. We have a wadi running through. So it's a double cross check to go across the wadi, or it's just a terrain dash across the forward. So there's 1 in each section of the board, so 3 in total. We have some tall terrain, the only tall terrain we have, which is just some palms. We have some scrub, so that is just short terrain, and then we have some rocky terrain. This one is just going to be obscure and impassable. So rocky terrain is stationary infantry are in bulletproof cover in here, and it's just going to be concealment and difficult any other way. And then along this side of the river there is no terrain, so you'll be able to road dash along here, and that is it. Okay, so we have deployment. We have a spectator here for a little bit. It's okay, we'll get to you in a minute. So basically I have deployed my scout cars, which are elite, a platoon of motorcycle troops, which are elite, and some Bredder MGs who are not elite. These are Jimmy's objectives over here, and these are my ones. And then we have a armoured platoon deployed with the mortar outside. I did get a spearhead move with my scout cars, and we're ready to go into turn 1 for me, the Italian. So good luck, James, and Operation Baby Minder Desert Storm is a go. No sandstorm yet, and this is going to be movement. There's going to be no shooting yet. I think as with Panzerschule, there was no shooting for like the first 3 or 4 turns, I think, because no one was in range. The motorbike troops here did a cross-country dash and a follow me. There was no other way I could get onto the objective this turn anyway, so they're here for now. The scout cars did a cross-country dash with a failed follow me, and then the Bredder MGs did a cross-country dash with a follow me. So remember, these guys are going fast because they're on motorbikes. So that is it, and now we go into American turn 1. American movement, no sandstorm. The half tracks have done a cross-country dash over to here. You can try if you want to do follow me with them. No? Okay, I think maybe range, and of course the mortar's staying back, so we might have some shooting if my infantry in range. It might be on the edge of the range, so we'll have a look.
Okay, Italian movement. These guys have thrown away their motorbikes and are on this objective after doing a tactical move. The scout cars have done a tactical move. I think only one of them is in range of a half track. And then these guys also threw away their motorbikes and are just guarding this objective. I can't get points for this one. So that is it. So now we go into shooting. I missed, I only had the one shot. Double check, just the one shot, needing a 4. There was no concealment and range, so that's it. So now we go into American turn 2. Okay, so we have American movement. They have dismounted, making use of the bulletproof cover from these racks. Some of them have dashed a bit further over. Basically, bazookas have been held back here as a kind of second line, and then the half tracks are pushed up to use the amount of MGs that they have in their disposal. So that is it. As you see, no more sandstorm. You won't actually be able to see it anyway. And we are going into American shooting. Okay, American shooting. Start off, the mortar tried ranging in here, needing a 6, unfortunately did not happen. The half-track 50 cal managed to kill the scout car, and then the 30 cals killed a MG base, and then the rifle teams managed to pin it and kill another one. So they are last standing. They were last standing after the first kill anyway. And that's it. So now going into turn 3, we'll see if a sandstorm's coming in and if any Italian reserves are moving in as well. So let's see what happens. No, in fact, the Vanguard force will be coming in. You don't need to roll for them. We will be going into that. And I've already got 1 point as well. I scored a point at the end of my last turn. So here we go into Italian turn 3. Okay, motivation phase. There's a sandstorm in, so my Vanguard cannot benefit from the aircraft until it goes away, which is annoying. The MGs rallied but then run away. I'm just about to finish my movement. I'm going to move my scout cars last. So I brought in for my Vanguard the Semiventes and the rest of the infantry who have done a terrain dash and a follow me, because we have to do terrain because night fighting rules are in effect, and I moved one of these guys to stop the platoon going to ground. So that is it. So we will have a bit of shooting after. Okay, so I moved my scout cars up to get some concealment, and they could only see 8 inches, which is not far enough. So luckily they'll be gone to ground, so night fighting is going to be pretty difficult anyway. I go up to 2 VPs because he has scored me another point, so thank you there. So now we go into American turn 3, and the rest of their stuff comes on. But at the start of James's turn he rolls a die, and on a 5 the sandstorm's already gone. No, so the sandstorm's still in effect, so all this stuff is going to be moving at terrain dash speed. Okay, American turn 3, the Vanguard force is in. The sandstorm is still brewing, so everything had to go terrain dash. So we have a unit of 5 Stuarts here, priests, the other 4 Stuarts, and then the HQ in their jeep are going here. So we have a little bit of movement to do with the armoured rifles, so they're going to be scoring a VP this turn, no doubt, and then we are going to go into shooting. Okay, Jimmy's movement, he's moved the half tracks over, but the unit leader will need to go within 6 inches of their unit leader. So you can go into the craters, and that should get them, so we just spotted that one. So you two won't kill us. And then he's moved 1 rifle team onto the objective to score a point from it. He did say later on he wanted to have the half tracks, which I said he could go back, but he wants to keep it like this, so he will learn for next time. But that's fair enough. He will get a VP at the end of this turn, and there will be maybe some shooting, but I think he might want to keep everyone else's heads down. But they won't be able to go onto ground anyway, because this infantry team has moved, so they might as well. Well, they can bail some. No, I don't think you. No, you can bail the scout cars if you can see them, which you can because I haven't fired. So there we go. So we are going into American shooting if they might do it. Okay, so the only unit that decided to shoot were the mortars because the Stuarts were too far away to see. Needing a 7 to range in, +1 for night, +1 for the terrain. James rolled a 6, the first dice he rolled, but then rolled a 3, so very close, but then failed to range in. So now we go into Italian turn 4, and hopefully the sandstorm will go away. Okay, so we still have a sandstorm. This guy has moved to here. He's still within 4 inches, so I will score another point at the end of this turn. Scout cars remain stationary. Semiventes have done a terrain dash with a failed follow me. These guys still on their bikes. The formation commander drove into here using a follow me, which passed, but then his buddy didn't get in. Unit leader did a follow me, got into the terrain, but then these guys didn't want to move. So that is it. So now we're going to see if my scout cars can see anything, and hopefully they can take out this infantry team. They can only see 8 inches, so that's nothing for them, so it's just out. So James is guaranteed another point next turn, but I do have 3 points. I do have a 2-point advantage at the moment, so that might come into play with 9 cumulative, isn't it? Something like that. I think it's a bit weird rule, but so we go into American turn 4. Motivation step. The sandstorm has gone, and this is terrible now because it's came up in my phase and it's gone down in Jimmy's phase, so it'll be easier to range in and shoot on my scout cars, and you'll be able to generally see more stuff, which is annoying. So we go into American movement. Okay, so we kind of spotted the thing Panzerschule were talking about in their video, where you win if you get 8 points cumulative. Now, if I was to get to 5 points, and obviously I'm in the lead, and I stopped scoring points and Jimmy kept on scoring, as soon as he gets to 3, I win the game, which is a bit unfair. So you either get to 8 points and then you win, or it's cumulative of 8. Is it 8, isn't it? What was it, 9? 9, so cumulative of 9. So if I score 5, he scores 4, that's game over and I win. So as long as I get to 5, I'm not going to lose any. And even if I get completely pushed off this objective and don't score any more for the rest of the game, all Jimmy will do is go and score points, unless Jimmy completely ignores the objectives and stays away from them and starts hunting down and breaking my formations. That's the only other way to win. So the only way to win is to VPs or break in formation. So if you get to the point where, say, you were 1 point away from winning, or the cumulative victory thing, you'd have to stop going for objectives completely and concentrate on killing enemy troops. So that's the only other way around it. But then the other team would only need 1 more VP. So there's a lot to think about in this game. So maybe that cumulative victory thing does add a little bit of spice to it, because at some point you will have to go to win. I have to stop scoring objectives and start hunting stuff down. So interesting how that could work. So you could either play it without cumulative victory points, but it would be interesting to see. So you'd have to move your stuff off the objective. So if you got pinned, you'd have to stay gone to ground to stop scoring. So yeah, so as Jimmy's doing his movement. So yeah, that's a interesting one there. American movement. The half tracks have moved onto the objective to score it, and the rifle team has moved back. The Stuarts have done a tactical move. These jeeps have dashed across, and these here have done a tactical as well. So hopefully to peel me off this objective in time to stop me scoring any more points. So interesting. So we go into American shooting. American shooting, Priest ranged in first time on the rocky terrain here, got 1 hit in total and pinned a unit. These Stuarts then opened up with their main guns, unfortunately failed their firepower to kill 1. Then over here the mortars managed to range in first attempt, got no hits. The Stuarts managed to kill 1 of the scout cars, and then 50 cals got no hits. 30 cals got a bunch of hits with the potential to bail, but failed the firepower. So that is it for American turn. They go up to 2 points and I'm on 3. So now we go into Italian turn 5 and the main force arrives. Okay, motivation and movement. These guys have failed to pin, so basically one of them has moved back to here. So he's moving away from enemy units. He's still in concealment, so I can not go to ground. I could fire at the Stuarts if I need to. That'd be interesting. So my Panzer IIIs have moved on cross-country dashing with a follow me. Same with the Italian tanks. all my Italian tanks elite, thank you Luigi. And then basically we have them coming on here as well. These guys did fail to follow me, and then you got the formation commander moving up. One of the Semiventes have remained still, the others have moved up to catch up. My planes are on as well, going over this way, and my infantry have got rid of their bikes, so no more bikes, motorbikes. So I've got my rifle team so they can shoot at the jeeps. So hopefully I might be able to pick off a couple of them. So I do have stuff that can shoot now, so we will be going into Italian shooting. Okay, so a shooting phase to forget. My artillery ranged in, I ranged in, so there was no terrain under the template. So needing a 4, I've got the final attempt, and there was a lot of teams under there, but I only got one hit, needing a 5, and he was saved, but that unit's pinned now, at least, I suppose. I then pumped the scouts and my rifle platoon into the HQ, basically averaging at like 50-50 hits, needing 3s, and one failed save, so the 2 IC got killed with his jeep. Then I fired 5 shots from the Semiventes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, into the half tracks, and only got one hit, needing 4s, so not great shooting. And that is it for my shooting phase. I find my dice don't do well when I'm up against Jimmy or somewhere, but they might bounce back. So I do score up to 4 VPs for controlling the objective down there. And now we go into American turn 5, where the rest of their army come in. And the 30 cals fired self-defense AA into the planes. Got one hit. I failed my save, but luckily James did not convert with his 6. So here come the big guns. American motivation, this pin rifle platoon rallied first time. They did get a reroll from the HQ. You can move your HQ as well. Yeah, you go ahead and move him and we'll come back. So these guys have tactically moved up because they're going to be going for the Semivente. So being stabilizers at long range where they were, actually is same role. More half tracks are moved in behind this platoon, and the Stuarts have dashed Stuart HQ. The Lees have moved on here. M10s have moved on here, and these Stuarts here are just going to remain stationary, and they're just going to try and blat these guys off the objective, although I will get another tank unit to move on if need be. But yeah, it's very interesting. Not sure what to make of this mission with the cumulative points, but I suppose you could always play further on. But yeah, it's interesting. So we go into American shooting. What did you do with your HQ? Oh, you took them out of the Jeep and put them in bulletproof cover. Yeah, good idea. So there we go. We go into American shooting. Okay, American shooting was very similar to mine. The priests though got, was it 3 hits. Bypassed 3 saves, re-rolled them, got 3 saves again. These over here got no hits this time. No, even though one hit by which I promptly saved. They did better on the move last turn, strangely. Then the Stuarts split fired over here. 2 shots that were directed onto the scouts, and then the other 6 onto the Semiventes. They missed the scouts, hit the Semivente. I failed to save, but then it was not converted with firepower. The 50 cal also fired at the scouts, resulting into 2 hits, but I bounced on 6s, so that is it. So James has gone up to 3 VP, and I'm on 4, so now we go into Italian turn 6. Italian motivation, the Semivente got back in, only needing a 2 for the remount. These guys are still pinned, and the aircraft are not coming in, so we go into movement. Okay, so movement wise, these guys did a successful blitz and then tactical. The Panzer IIIs have done a tactical. These guys attempted to dig in, but then I'm going to shoot the Stuarts to stop being on the ground. Because I can still shoot at them. It might not hurt them, but yeah.
Just realised you won.
What?
Once one player hits 5 points, that's it, it's game.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So this could be the... Well, this is the last turn. I just want to see if I can actually kill some stuff. Meaningful stuff. And then basically my HQ Italian tank has moved into the terrain for cover, and then the rest of the units have moved up as best they can. Both these units try to dig in, but they've just gone to ground. Scout car's not moved, Semiventi's not moved. So we go into Italian shooting and score my final VP and end the game, or maybe we can persuade James to play a bit more, but there's F1 on today. We'll see what happens. Italian shooting, I managed to kill 2 of the Stuarts over here, one with the Italian tanks and one with the Panzer IIIs. Over here I fired my 2 M14 41 tanks, the HQ and the unit leader up here, the scouts and the Semiventes, and I managed to get 3 bailed Stuarts and 1 is still okay. So luckily I'm going up to 5 points. Now James's only way to stop me winning this game is to 1, move away from this objective and not score it, and kill everything I have down here to stop me scoring next turn. So it's doable as we move into American turn 6. American motivation, only one of the Stuarts got back in, but they are 2 active tanks, so they're not last standing. So Operation get away from the objective as quickly as possible and break my formations is a go. Okay, American movement, Stuart's main stationary again? Yeah. M10s have moved down, Lees are moving down, the 2 active Stuarts have moved back, 1st platoon have mounted back up into their half tracks and moved off the objectives, 2nd platoon has moved down and their mortar has got out to fire next turn, and the 2 Stuart HQs have moved over this way to go for this lot. And that is it, so now we go into American shooting. Okay, American shooting has resulted in 2 dead Panzer IIIs and a bailed out Panzer III. Again, team here is pinned but has survived. All my scout cars are gone now. This platoon over here is pinned but no casualties, and that is it. So basically my turn, I will win. I suppose we'll see if this Panzer III runs away or not, or dies. So remounts, he remounts. Does he run away? He does not. So that would be me scoring final score. Very close, it went down to the shooting in the end, but me losing the Panzer IIIs now, well, I've only got 1. If this game went on any longer, that is it, because I'm struggling to kill with the Italian tanks against Stuarts, and now there's Lees and M10s getting involved as well now. But yeah, that's interesting mission. It's definitely, if you're able to get a 1 or 2 point advantage scoring these things, it's very hard, because although you're trying to catch up, you don't want to catch up too much and end the game. So then you have to go formation hunting then, which is difficult. But I managed to get enough stuff. And these infantry here, definitely my man in the match, because they won me the game. The little motorbikes chugged along and then they got off and stayed there and didn't take a single casualty. So well done, guys. Man of the match for you, James?
I don't really think they'll have one. Nobody really did anything.
Oh wait, you got something.
Okay, if you want to purely to say the M10s.
I don't know, the M10s did alright.
But they've only really had 1 turn to do this stuff, and everyone else kind of got to where they
Although
need to.
your half tracks from 1st platoon killed the MGs and pretty much 3 scout cars, and my whole plan for this game was these scout cars were meant to go straight off for these half tracks at the beginning of the game to keep James away from the objective, and in the end they ended up falling prey to the half tracks themselves, especially with that bloody sandstorm coming in and stopping me shooting for those turns. And
yeah, you would say this guy's
the 50 cal half track from 1st platoon.
Specifically this one.
Yeah, your man of the match is a 50 cal half track, which I think did a lot of work. But yeah, no, so that is it for the game. So nice short one so James can watch Formula 1. And that is it. And this video is meant to come out on Christmas Eve, so everyone have a good Christmas. Yeah, have a good Christmas everyone, and hopefully you've got plenty more models under the tree. So until then, take care.